tso. Asenalo valo, asenalo valo, asenalo valo. Tio, tio, tio mama tio, tio, tio. Ke tsoa hoseng ke sena batswadi, ke tsamaya le wena e molo molo. Re tsoa hoseng re sena NSFAS, re tsamaya le lona e molo molo. He warende andea he molo 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 e molo molo. SATVETSA re rata kaofela, re tsamaya le yona e molo molo. Limngai re mo rata kaofela, re tsamaya le yena e molo molo. He warende andea he molo he molo molo, pare molo molo. He warende andea he molo he molo molo, he molo molo. Re tsoa hoseng re sena batswadi, re tsamaya le lona pare molo molo. Re tsoa hoseng re sena batswadi, re tsamaya le lona pare molo molo. He warende andea kai molo molo e molo molo. Tio 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 mama tio mama tio. Can we just make space for Wesley King about to arrive? Even if it's just in the middle here, né? We'll just accommodate themselves this time.
Okay. Let's sit down. Yeah, no. Okay. May I request colleagues sitting that side, the ones at the back, let's move to the front, please.
I doubt all of you are editing. I see two gentlemen who are not doing anything. Okay. Yeah. Siyabonga, remove that for President. Siyabonga, remove that chair. Okay. Okay. Can we be seated, colleagues? Mr. Msipa? Mr. Msipa. Just here. Okay. Thank you so much. I am Kanyiso Wakwasonti. I'll be the program director for today. I know that I'm not SATVETSA. I look a bit old to be SATVETSA, but I've been asked to direct today's program. We are a bit behind schedule, but I think we will make time. Before we start, I want to just clear a few house rules. Please, let's make sure that all our phones are on silent. If you cannot put your phone on silent, please switch it off. Please make sure that we do not do a lot of ups and downs. We sit and we do not distract the speakers on the podium. When it comes to presentations, even if I present what you do not like, please do not howl or try to disturb my presentation. Wait your turn up until you are given a platform to speak. Possible that you might not be given a platform to speak, but you must be patient enough to know that maybe next year we'll give you a platform to speak. Yeah? So before we start, let me also acknowledge the senior managers that are here. We have a delegation that is led by the DDG of TVET, Mr. Zungu. I'm not sure if all of you know him, but say if you can stand. Mr. Seb Zungu, that's the DDG of TVET. Also in our midst, we have invited, and we appreciate the presence of sitters. I know some are still in the holding room, but here now we have the CEO of Insurance Sitter, Miss Gugumkiza. If you can stand, ma'am, so that they see you. I'm not seeing e-services Sitter. Oh. Also in our midst, we have I think if you can see from the logos there, we have the CEO of Services Sitter, Obabu Dladla. If you can stand up and be greeted, sir. And I want that greeting to be louder. If it was not for services SETA, all of you will not be here and you will not be looking as nice as you are. Also in our midst, I know if I do not say this, I will be killed. We also have the CEO of South African Public Colleges Organization, Meneo Matzen. If also you do not clap as hard as you want to, you will still not be here as well. Let's give Sakbo a good round of applause. Please stand up now. I know in our midst we also have the COO of Food Bev, but I'm just not seeing him now, which is a SETA as well. We will have the COO of WNR SETA tomorrow, Mr. Shoba. We have MQA that is here. We have LG SETA interim CEO who will also be joining us and making a presentation today. We have PSETA. We have MICT SETA. I always struggle to pronounce that. But also within the senior managers that we have here, we have from the department, we have Mr. Vele. If, sir, you can stand up. He's the chief director responsible for programs and qualifications. Everything occupational program is there. If occupational programs are a problem, is our problem. We also have the chief director responsible for institutional support and planning, Mr. Msipa, if you can stand up, sir. We have the chief director responsible for centers of specialization, Mr. Buthelezi. I call him the #1 artisan in the department. We have the director responsible for student development and support, but in the Eastern Cape, they call him the acting chief director, regional manager, Mr. Mudirwa. And the rest of the colleagues that are here, I greet you all. So I just want you to adjust your programs very quickly. So in terms of the program, we have made a few changes. We will have the opening and welcome that will be done by Mr. Mudirwa. Please take note. We will have the opening and welcome that will be done by Mr. Mudirwa. We will have the purpose of the conference that will be done by the president of SATVETSA, Ms. Gaugelo Chokwe. We'll have the NSFAS CEO only presenting tomorrow. They will not be presenting today. After the president will then have a presentation or an address by a speech by Ms. Mkhize, the CEO of Insurance SETA. We will have the CEO of Services SETA also after Umam Mkhize. We will have the introduction of the minister by the DDG. We will have the keynote address by the minister. After the minister, then we'll have messages of support from SAUS, messages of support from South African Youth Council, messages of support from COSASCA, TVET, CGC, SAGPO, and then we'll have a presentation by the interim CEO of LG SETA. Are we all clear? Yeah. So without any waste of time, colleagues, and I must say, DDG, we have the most disciplined SRC members in the sector. Ne? I will not say because I'm from the TVET branch, so I'm speaking good about them. We have a very fair group and matured group. So then the rest of these 3 days are going to be a huge success, I can promise you that. So without any waste of time, colleagues, let me call upon Mr. Richard Mudirwa to officially open this gathering. Let's give him a good round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Kanyiso, Cyprian Sonti. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really my profound honor to formally welcome you to the 2025 SATVETSA Student-Driven Academic Conference. We are actually deeply honored to have the Minister with us today. I understand that he'll be joining us shortly. We are really greatly appreciative of the Minister's continued support of our programs. And as always, we are greatly appreciative of the support and the ever-present leadership of DDG Zungu at events involving the students. DDG Zungu continues to demonstrate to all of us as managers and officials in the sector that no administrative duty, no matter how urgent it is, can ever be more important than those that directly impact the learning, the success, and well-being of our students. We would also like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of the senior managers, the regional managers, and the officials of the department. DDG, early this week, as we were confirming the availability of the presenters, one senior manager assured us of his participation for as long as the event involved the students. And he was saying for as long as the event involves students, we should count him in. Now, this attitude is not accidental. It reflects the tone and standard that the DDG has set for all the senior managers and officials in the sector, that student-centered work remains our highest priority. We also extend a warm welcome and sincere appreciation to the CEOs and the representatives of all our entities. I think Kwesan has mentioned some of them: NSFAS, NSF, CETAS, QCTO, SAQA, Higher Health. Your presence here reflects your continuing commitment to the well-being of our students and their future prospects. We also wish to warmly welcome and sincerely appreciate the leadership of SAPCO and the TVET CGC. We greatly are appreciative of their continued support and unwavering commitment to investing in programs that advance the personal development of our students. We also would like to sincerely acknowledge and appreciate the presence of COSAXA. We are grateful for all the wide range of activities that they coordinated this year, ensuring that our students are meaningfully engaged throughout the year. In sports, arts, and cultural activities that really assist our students to refresh their minds and to ensure that they focus on their academic studies. And I would also like to really acknowledge and welcome our student support services and marketing managers. We truly appreciate your unwavering commitment. Now, let me just briefly speak to the marketing managers that for us to succeed marketing managers in strategically positioning the TVET College brand in the market, it is essential that you work closely and continuously with our student support services managers. This collaboration is key to strengthening our efforts to recruit prospective students, to attract investors, donors, and industry partners, and to mobilize funding for third stream income and opportunities. Through this partnership, we will also be better positioned to secure workplace placements for our students and lecturers, and to attract investment in infrastructure and technology. And this will ensure that we enhance teaching and learning across all our TVET colleges. DDG, the TVET college sector, has been able to generate an extraordinary level of positive momentum this year. What the minister continuously speaks about the bars, Now, we have never generated this kind of publicity, this kind of buzz than ever before. And so we would like to really acknowledge all the hard work of our SSS managers and marketing managers in this regard. And one must indicate that we trended throughout the year, and one must indicate that, emphasize that it is for all the right reasons, and we continue to do so. This success is a direct result of the unwavering commitment and hard work and dedication of our SSS and marketing managers. Their efforts have been central to elevating the sector and strengthening the TVET College brand. They deserve a round of applause. We would be remiss not to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of SAUS. Would like to commend their sustained collaboration with SATVETSA and the critical role that they play in championing the aspirations and interests of the students in the PSET system. We extend a warm welcome and express our sincere appreciation to our esteemed strategic partners. We won't be able to finish all of them, the SAE, YC, South African Youth Council, HESA, industry partners, Survey Fiesta. We appreciate, colleagues, all your support. I would also like to acknowledge, I think the program director has already acknowledged the support of all the sponsors for their invaluable support. We also acknowledge the presence of the media for covering this event. Now, finally, we extend our heartfelt welcome to the organizers of this event, the dedicated leadership of SATVETSA and all the SRC members. Time and again, you raise the bar through your vision and commitment. This is the leadership that brought us the Women in Leadership program early this year. This is the leadership that spearheaded the historic march earlier this year in collaboration with the Ministry, with the Office of the Premier in the Eastern Cape, and the Eastern Cape Provincial Commission of SAPS to raise awareness and build partnerships in our collective effort to fight the scourge against GBV. Today, this same leadership closes the 2025 program on a remarkable high, focusing on transformative reforms in our curriculum, demonstrating that true leadership is about inspiring action. It's about initiating change. It's about shaping the future of our students and our nation. Can we give a big round of applause to ourselves as SATVETSA and student leaders? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to officially welcome you to this important gathering and declare the 2025 Student-Driven Academic Conference open. I thank you.
As always, we can do. Thank you so much, Mr. Midirwe. Also, let me take the opportunity to acknowledge that in the midst, Mr. Midirwe, that as much as the CEO of NSFAS will arrive tomorrow, but his office is here. Also, if they were not assisting us or assisting SATVETSA, I will not be here today. So let's give NSFAS a good round of applause, colleagues. Without any waste of time, colleagues, please allow me to call upon the CEO of Insurance SETA, Umamu Gugu Mkize. Let's give a good round of applause. Or maybe before that, oh, it's the president. I'm rushing, eh? You know, my mind works that I'm looking at time. So I apologize, President. But before that, to all the photographers, please, when you take pictures, don't stand in front of these cameras, because the whole event is live streamed, so they will now see your bags and all of that. You are blocking the live stream. Maybe we can try when we want to take pictures, we just come just here in front, we sit down. Colleagues, let me call on the president of SATVETSA. She was going to kill me if I made that mistake. If Ms. Mkiza did not correct me, I was going to be fired from this podium. President Gaugelo Chokwe, to give us a purpose of this event and why we are here. Where is Ace? Let's give a good song. Bando.
Two. Buta, out tio mama tio, uteni vestere la ganga, kaubabuze, aguteni vestere la ganga, eti kaubabuze. Ete kawabuze, uye kawabuze.
Amandla yo. Aweti yo. Amandla yo. Aweti yo. Clock it now. Thank you. Thank you, Program Director, and thank you, Mr. Ministerial, for the warm welcome. Allow me to pass my humble greetings to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Witmanamela, in absentia, our acting DG, Mr. Samsungu, our SACPO President, Mr. Kekana, and the whole entire leadership and SACPO CEO, DHE officials, college officials, all CETA officials that are present here today, and as first officials, COSASCA President, Mr. Mbosula, PSYC President, Mr. Sheme, higher health officials, our regional managers, Saud leadership, student support officials, all stakeholders that are present here, our student representative councils, and also our class reps, members of the media, and fellow South Africans, allow me to say all protocol observed. It is both an honor and a privilege to deliver the purpose of our annual student-driven academic conference under the theme, TVET must transform and develop skills, a key to unlocking a curriculum that is aligned with the demands and development of the modern economy. It is against this background that we are convening this conference as part of responding and unpacking the phasing out of NATED programs and ANCV programs, also the implementation of occupational studies. This conference is held in order to provide a platform for the department, SETAs that are present here today, the private sector, student representative councils, to outline their roles and the implementation of occupational studies, to also discuss and provide a clear direction of where the sector is headed. On behalf of the NEC, I stand before you today, not just as the TVET National President, but also as a representative of our collective future, a future that is defined by opportunity, relevance, and the preparedness of work world. I believe that most of us, if not all in this room, we have chosen the TVET sector because we believe in the practical skills and the direct pathways to employment. It is paramount for us to acknowledge that the world around us is changing at an unprecedented pace, and our educational frameworks and policies must also evolve with it and not lag behind it. Program Director, allow me to express my profound gratitude, for it is through the unwavering support of the TVET branch and our college principals that SATVETSA continues to be able to carry out its mandate. The support that we have received from colleges and marketing coming to this conference has been enormous, and I believe that that deserves a round of applause from the House. Thank you. Services SETA and NSFAS have played a vital role in ensuring that SATVETSA is able to host yet another transformative conference which will influence policy. Equally, allow me to express my gratitude to the Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Wutimanamela, for honoring our invitation. His support really does not go unnoticed, and as SATVETSA, we continue to pledge our support to the work of the 7th administration. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, we have witnessed the transition of the TVET sector. The Department of Higher Education is instituting a significant shift, one that directly impacts each and one of us. And I know that most of our students are anxious about the phasing out of the traditional NATED programs, Report 191, and the introduction of new occupational studies. A necessary evolution, not a loss. For many of us, NATED programs, the N4, N5, N6 certificate, and the national diploma have been the familiar path, but we need to ask ourselves a very difficult question. Are these programs still giving us the competitive edge that we need to participate in the global economy? As student leaders, we have been entrusted with the responsibility to influence and strengthen policies, also to work closely with our colleges to ensure that this transition and transformation is smooth, transparent, and put the success of our students first. As we may know, occupational qualifications requires an integration of theory, practice, and work experience for a given topic. Hence, SATVETSA continues to advocate for sufficient resources, quality work placement, and lecturers who are well equipped to deliver the new curriculum. This is an opportunity to future-proof our education. By embedding these competencies, we position students to thrive. The Department of Higher Education, Higher Health, and SATVETSA have joined hands in fighting and creating programs to fight against gender-based violence and femicide, and also provide support to students who have experienced GBV. Our institutions need to have clear policies that talk about how students will be protected. I want to reiterate this. No student should ever walk on our campus of fear of being harassed, of being discriminated against, or fear of being violated. It is time for us to take a stand against gender-based violence and make sure that we encourage our students to name and shame the perpetrators. We have noted that gender-based violence is a growing crisis that is affecting students in the TVET sector. However, this is a fight that requires all of us in order to win. As a structure, we have been working hand in hand with Higher Health in order to ensure that our students get counseling. However, there's still a need for our government to invest in the TVET infrastructure and also implement more clinics in each and every campus to ensure that students don't have to struggle to get access to health care services. Program Director, I wish to highlight that as part of the ongoing work of SATVETSA to transform the sector, we have met with Services SETA, which in our discussions, we were able to raise issues of placement and the recurring student debts. Our students should not be denied an opportunity to succeed because they are unable to pay tuition debts. Occupational studies are more costly than the NATED programs, and through the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, we must be able to continue to support students who are coming from the working class and the poor. This collaborative approach is particularly important if we consider the unacceptably high number of unemployed youth in our country and the urgent challenges of need or people who are not in any formal education, employment, and training. It is estimated that more than 3.3 million young people in our country between the ages of 15 and 24 are not in employment, education, and training. And this is something that must concern all of us. It is therefore understood that a collaborative approach will ensure a coordinated and targeted approach to skills planning, funding, and quality assurance, also monitoring, resulting in a skills and competitive workforce that contributes to the economic growth and social development. The transformation of the sector is imperative because it has the potential to contribute to employability and job creation. I therefore call upon all our youth to register for these occupational programs in the year 2026 to further their skills and knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, building stronger industry partnership will open up the possibility of further enhancing workplaces for our students. I want to plead and call on our TVET colleges, the QCTO, our SETAs, industry partners, organized labor, professional bodies, product house, and all other stakeholders to come together and provide the necessary support to ensure that our students succeed. It can't be that a student that comes from the TVET sector graduates and is unable to find work. We must instill and invest. We must instill and invest in our graduates who are starting businesses. And I want to encourage TVETpreneurs to also invest back into the sector by mentoring and helping young entrepreneurs who are upcoming to establish their businesses. Leadership, I encourage you to engage openly, robustly, however, with respect. Allow me to close by quoting the revolutionary Thomas Sankara when he said, "Our revolution is not a public speaking tournament. Our revolution is not a battle of phrases. Our revolution is not simply for sprouting slogans that are no more than signals used by manipulators trying to use them as catchwords, as code words, or as foil for their own display. Our revolution is and should continue to be the collective effort of revolutionaries to transform reality, to improve the concrete situation of the masses of our country. Let us chant a new path for academic excellence in South Africa. May this conference provide clarity. I thank you.
Loudly. You can do. Do. Start that song again, but.
Ekutheni besidelela kangaka uze kawuze akutheni besidelela kangaka awubabuze ewe awubabuze 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 awuvuma boyawa
Okay. Ungayeki lo mic, you must keep it, ne? That's one job we are going to do for the rest of the day, ne? Tomorrow is someone else. So thank you so much, President. At least we all know why we're invited here. Colleagues, without any waste of time, because I'm a program director, I also have the ability to change the program as I see it fit. Ne? So when you are given power, you must never waste it. Can I call on the representative from Food Bev to quickly come and give us a message of support? I see Preeti and the representative are discussing who must come first. Let's give them a good round of applause, colleagues.
Program Director, thanks. The Minister of Higher Education and Training, Honorable Buti Manamela, in absentia, the TVET colleges represented in here, leadership of SATVETSA, the SITAs represented in here. It's an honor for me today to stand before you to provide the message of support to this important conference organized by SATVETSA. As Food Bev SITA, we are delighted.
My apologies, colleagues. The minister is just about to get it. May we please stand up? Okay, thank you so much. I did warn that we were pressed for time, but at least do you have that mic for the rest of the day. Let's welcome the minister with a good round of applause, colleagues. You are welcome, Minister, who just stopped Food Bev while they were making their small presentation. So if you may.
Thanks. It's an honor. I've passed my greetings to the minister in absentia. Now the minister here. Honorable Minister, it's an honor for us at Food Bev SITA to get this opportunity to provide the message of support to this conference. As indicated, it is an honor to be part of this transition. As the president of SATVETSA has indicated, that we are in the process of transitioning from the NATED programs into the occupational programs. So as Food Bev SITA, we are delighted to be part of this process. And as it is now, Minister must indicate it, that we are moving at a higher speed to make sure that Food Bev SITA is represented in all the 9 provinces. More so, Foodbird SETA is currently more active in 3 provinces in terms of its mandate. But we are ensuring that by the end of our term, we should have the representation in all the colleges wherein they will be offering the occupational programs. I must say that as part of our support for the PZ sector over the past 5 years, we have had a lot of support which we have provided to the TVET colleges. And more so, we have also expanded it through SACPO, wherein learners were placed to do practical programs, wherein SACPO was responsible for project managing those activities. And we indicate that as Foodbird SETA, we are still committed to support the TVET colleges over and above what we have done currently. And with those few words, I wish to wish this conference a success and put our support behind each and every activity which is required to get all the actions which we want to do to be a success. I thank you.
Thank you so much to Foodbev. Minister, we have almost 10 SETAs, not just marketing people from SETAs, but executives from SETAs. So they were called here by students and they came. Thank you so much. We can do better, colleagues. Let's give them a good round of applause. So without any waste of time, colleagues, let me now call on the CEO of Insurance SETA, Ms. Mkhize. Let's give her a good round of applause as well.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this morning? I'm good. Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Buti Manamela, the Deputy Director General of the TVET colleges, Mr. Zamuguhle Zungu, the leadership from the department, and the leadership from SATVETSA, the SETAs represented here by the leadership, and also those that are exhibiting, the CEO of SACPO. I would like to rise on a protocol that has already been established, lest I miss anyone. I have been requested to offer a message of support on behalf of all the SETAs. And as I sent the message to the chairperson of the CEO Forum this morning and requested her to give her blessing as I provide the message of support, she also sent her few words, and I'm going to read verbatim the message that she sent. I quote, "SETAs are working together to create more impact. We are guided by the resolutions taken at the SETA Summit in 2024 to support technology, green energy, shared services, increase rural support in the townships, support in rural areas and in townships, as well as provide expansion of our impact in the TVET colleges." She says we are fully behind the TVETs. That is her message. Program Director, thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to just highlight some of the few areas that the SETAs are already working with the TVET colleges and also with various formations in terms of leadership to support the work that is happening in the TVET colleges. In 2024, the SETAs hosted a summit where we agreed on 6 pillars to support the PSET holistically. One of the areas that was highlighted or part of these 6 high impact areas was infrastructure development and public institutional delivery capacity. The second one was significant reduction in unemployment for people, including graduates. The third pillar was sustainable entrepreneurial, SMME, and cooperative development. The fourth pillar was holistic digitization and advanced holistic infrastructure. The fifth one was effective and efficient shared services in terms of ICT, and the last one was rural development for community impact. Just to share some statistics with you from a SETA perspective, between the year 2019 and 2023, SETAs collectively invested in the enrollment of 411,000 young people in various programs, including learnerships and apprenticeships, internships, artisan development, as well as skills programs. Additionally, SETAs have supported individuals within the TVET college space to the tune of about 198,000 just on skills programs, the short skills programs. In terms of value, SETAs collectively have contributed 42 billion rand towards skills development between the year 2019 and 2023. We appreciate the opportunity to share this information with the conference because it shares a perspective and it puts into light the work that we continue to do. As the insurance SETA, we work with more than 30 TVET colleges annually, but obviously this is in rotation. And our work includes the funding of bursaries, internships, learnerships, and I believe all SETAs contribute towards the development or the skills development within the TVET college space. From an infrastructure perspective, there are specific SETAs that contribute significantly towards the building of infrastructure in the TVET colleges, including the WNR SETA, the services SETA, construction SETA, as well as theatre and facet. And these they have done over the years towards contributing towards building labs, also engineering, to those who are doing technical programs. They've done this to also support the specific technical qualifications or occupational qualifications in the TVET colleges. Just as an example from ourselves, we have currently we work with 6 TVET colleges that we have fully accredited, and also they run our ASA exams. But the transition also cannot happen without the support of lecturer development. So we also, together with other SETAs, work towards supporting lecturers in their development as we move towards the transition. So there's a significant amount of work that is done by the SETAs towards supporting the occupational transition. And we also work towards, we've worked with a number of SETAs in collaboration, and the intention of launching the CHIP was for the SETAs to collaborate together towards assisting in building a formidable a PSET system, including the TVET colleges. Workshops have been built towards supporting young people, and also simulated learning has also been constructed in other TVET colleges. I remember that in July of this year, the Insurance SETA launched its digital hub at the coastal TVET colleges. So there's a significant amount of investment that is made towards building and for the transition in the TVET college space. We appreciate the opportunity that we have been given by SATVETSA to partner, and we look forward, President, to also engaging with you so that you can also we can also support you from a financial services perspective and the insurance perspective as we see what services can be offered in the TVET college space. So we look forward to engaging with you and partnering on implementing impactful program. And on behalf of ASEO, I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to offer the message of support. Thank you very much.
We can do better. Okay. Thank you so much, Mam Kiz. I know these young people need your assistance in terms of their finances. No? If you can see what they do with NSFAS money. You don't want me to say it in public? Okay. Now let's give Mam Kiza one good round of applause, please. Now, without any waste of time, let me call on stage Mr. Dladla, the CEO of Services SETA. And I must say again, Mr. Dladla, without the assistance of Services SETA, I will not be here today. So, siyabulela kakhulu. Let's give Dladla good. Do better than that. I don't know why they removed that. That's why they say that.
It's fine. Thank you so much, Program Director. As mentioned, my name is Pusiso Dladla, the acting CEO of the Services SETA, or more appropriately known, the sponsor of this event. Let me formally just greet our minister, greet the DDG, greet the colleagues from the department, colleagues from the entire PSET ecosystem, greet the student leaders in the room who actually without you, we wouldn't be here. My message of support is basically to highlight what us as the Services SETA are intending to do going forward, which is what we feel is going to change the dynamics around the TVET space. Because we honestly feel that the PSET ecosystem really strives on the success of TVET colleges and community colleges, while also looking at your universities. But because of the different funding models, we feel that as an organization, it's actually a bit more vital for us to be able to support TVET colleges on a number of projects. I'll just run through a few on the list, but this is what we had a discussion with the leadership of SATVETSA. We've had a discussion with the TVET CGC. We've had discussions with SAPCO. We've had discussions with the TVET Directorate in the department, which basically shows our interest and our intention to be a full partner in the value chain of TVET colleges across the country. So in our approach, it's basically to say that as part of our pillars, the TVET college system becomes one of the important ones, which means that how we then direct our funding is going to be relatable through to TVET colleges. In the main, looking at the transition now from your historical qualifications to occupational qualifications, which have a dual training model, which means we also need to have employer partnerships in place so that we can then ensure that our students that are funded also get an opportunity to get workplace experience. Being one of the bigger SETAs, we have a network of close to above 150,000 employer companies that fall under us. So through envisaged partnerships with them, it means that then we can then build a value chain that comes from high school to TVET, and from then TVET to the workplace for internships, and also being absorbed into that space. So we've been working tirelessly with the administrator and the team to try and unlock these opportunities so that next year, which is 2026, starts off on a different scale than what we would have seen before from our side. We're also looking at the employer-driven qualifications, meaning that the qualifications we need to develop now need to speak to what is being absorbed by employers. It makes no sense to develop a qualification that is now redundant, but we are still pumping funds into and pumping students into the space, knowing full well that there is no bridge between the world of school and the world of work. So that industry alignment is very key and pivotal to us Then hence we are doing this through our chamber networks to try and ensure that everything that we develop, the subject matter experts that we use actually come from industry. Then the other point is on artisan development, in terms of our pipeline, supporting programs like your centers of specialization, which is basically a workplace type program. So for us, it makes very valuable sense to say, rather than just class time training and class time funding, and we know some of the colleges do not have the necessary training facilities to be able to train from the classroom to practical experience. So having those partnerships with employer companies then directly allows us to jump in terms of building that valuable skill, which is now work experience. We're looking into strategic partnerships for simulator training in areas that are remote, and simulator training where there is a challenge when it comes to providing adequate workplaces there. We're also looking at, on the other side of the coin now, lecturer development and admin staff development, because for us to ensure that the value that goes into the funding and the quality of education that is delivered, we also need to train on the other side as well. So the lecturers need to be equipped to be able to deliver the programs of quality, and the administration of the TVET college also needs to be equipped to ensure that training continues, is delivered properly, and we don't have the challenges that we've seen in the past. Another key element is looking at green skilling. It's one of our change drivers as an organization, because we are moving towards the green hydrogen initiatives, green skill centers. So it means our qualifications also need to be aligned to the environmental factors. They need to be aligned to the progression that we are seeing in the workplaces when it comes to green skilling, green business operations, and green models in terms of delivery and practical training. We are changing our bursary funding scheme. So previously we used to recruit learners directly, which became a problem for us administratively when it comes to reconciling payments, when it comes to reconciling information and receiving invoices from colleges. It becomes a mission. So we had felt as an organization, then it makes no sense for us to continue the same model that is not working, because it becomes unfair for learners if by the end of an academic year, us as an organization have not paid you fees because we are missing a copy of a document that should have been submitted before. So our model going forward will be paying in advance, meaning that for example, for the 2026 financial year, we will be partnering with TVET colleges with the assistance of the directorate to say that by January registration period, the students that we require to be recruited by the colleges will be fully funded, so that you automatically register, you automatically get your books, and you automatically move into class time. So the recons we'll be doing on our side will then be kept at a level of management through the principal's office, through the directorate, the TVET directorate. So by doing that, it means then we want to reduce the burden of stress that not having funding will have on students. We want to also reduce the activities that happen during registration period, so that we focus more on getting bums on seats and getting students into classes than actually now having to address issues of funding, having to address issues of inequality in terms of how we fund the systems. So that funding scheme, we are finalizing the changes of policy on our side, but we envisage that from next year onward, each college will have a specific direct funding that comes from Services SETA, and then that college will have the requirements of what we require to report, so that burden is reduced from students, it's kept at a SETA level and a college level. So that's the direction we're moving towards. We are also looking at also work placement. We've just initiated a program of placing 20,000 learners over the next 2 years, direct to workplaces. These are graduate interns. So if you exit the system through our employer networks and employer partnerships, we can then place you in those colleges, and with specific requirements to say, if we give you a certain number, a certain percentage needs to be absorbed. And then we hold employers accountable for that. Because we are the ones who are paying for you to be there. The benefit goes directly to them. So the onus on their side is to ensure that there's absorption. It is a massive program. It's a bit of a new one for us. We've never enrolled a specific number that high, in particular for interns. So it's an exciting time, and we are hopeful that this will continue as the years go by, so that by the end of the second year, the next batch starts, so that we have a cycle of interns in workplaces, and hopefully start getting absorption. The President spoke about the not yet in education and training or employed. This initiative is aimed at directly addressing that issue so that we take your graduates, place them into workplaces aligned to the qualifications that they studied. And then we ensure that on our side, we service both the educational element but also the economic improvement of our sector as well. Then last but not least, the conversation with SATVETSA was also speaking to safety in campuses, which is a priority for us because we have been driving a number of GBV initiatives, but having that direct link now to the students and through higher health, we believe that we can do more in trying to ensure that at least we improve the lives and the safety of students in our campuses. An improvement for one is already a milestone. So imagine if we can do it for a number of people, right? Transforming the TVET space is not about pumping in money, and it's not about overspending in TVET colleges, but not yielding results. It's about leveling the playing ground. We improve the quality of education, we improve the quality of delivery of education, we improve the quality of the graduates that are coming out, so that as soon as you're out of the system, you are in a better position and a better place to start now looking for jobs and or enter into your own employment or entrepreneurship programs or start your own small businesses, which we also support as well. So it becomes a 360 support system that we are envisaging as an organization. We will roll out to TVET colleges. So I'm very happy that I was invited to this session, and I'm very happy to see a lot of familiar faces. I think when last week, when Wonga was calling to say, can you please finalize the sponsorship? I think he was threatening me a bit, so at least I feel safe today that the event is a success. So thank you very much for the invite, and I look forward to listening and hearing what the students have to say. Thank you so much.
We can do better than that. So Wongani threatens old people. It's that big voice of his. Colleagues, I hope you are taking notes on it. So without any further waste of time, colleagues, I would now like to call on UDDG Zungu to come and introduce our Honorable Minister. Let's give UDDG a good round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Mr. Cyprian Sonti. He's behaving today, Minister is wearing a suit. This must be a special occasion. Pambili ngeSATVETSA pambili. Pambili ngeSATVETSA pambili. Rise, TVET, rise. Phakama, TVET, phakama. Phakama, TVET, phakama. Uzayithola kanjani? Uhlele khoneni? Thank you very much. I wanted to check, Minister, earlier on it sounded as if they were a bit hungry. To check if they've had breakfast. I'm not going to dwell much on the transition in terms of the occupational programs because there are presenters that will be talking to that. I'm just asked to introduce our Honorable Minister, and I'll just rise on the protocol that already been observed in order to save time. I've got a new recruit, Minister. I brought my daughter along so that she gets familiar with the TVET system. So I don't know where she's seated, but she's somewhere here so that she knows that TVET is the place to be. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our Minister of Higher Education and Training, Mr. Butima Namela, who has been the Minister of Higher Education and Training since July 2025. Before then, he was the Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training and Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, and he's a former Deputy Minister in the Presidency. He serves as a member of the South African Communist Party, Central Committee, the CC, and in the African National Congress National Executive Committee. He holds a master's degree in Public Policy and Development Management from Wits University and studied digital electronics at the Tshwane North TVET College, formerly known as Mamelodi Technical College. He served as a deputy president of the South African Student Congress, SASCO, president of the South African College Student Association, now known as SATVETSA, local organizer of SACAU, and was elected national secretary of the Young Communist League of South Africa, UFASIMBA, a position he held for over 11 years, since 2003 until 2014. May you please rise and welcome our Honorable Minister with a big round of applause.
Tabo, 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 kinali moya. Tabo, 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 kinali moya. Ea ke bebe kadula fate. Oba ene ginali moya. Tio.
Thank you.
Tio. Tio,
Thank
mama,
you.
tio. Avisani fire brigade. I lolo. Avisani fire brigade. Lolo. Egoya shabakana babo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, DDG Zungu, for that introduction. Good morning. Good morning. To the leadership of SATVETSA, the president, together with your national executive, and also your guests, I understand South Youth Council and various other students' organizations, student formations that are here. It's a great honor to speak at this. I think I was at the first one, if I'm not mistaken. This student-driven academic conference, which I think is not just a conference about students, but it's also one led by students and also shaped in terms of thinking, in terms of what should be the output. And it's also grounded in the understanding that the transformation of South Africa's TVET system cannot be achieved without the voices, the agency, the intellectual leadership of students themselves. So I really applaud you for taking this leadership. And so you're signaling something important, which is a shift from students as passive recipients of policy to students as active producers of ideas, of critique, and solutions. And so that completely shift matters because a system that listens to its students is a system capable of renewal. You are the core of the sector, of the TVET sector. And so all of us who exist precisely because there is South Africa to serve, and South Africa seeks our service by serving students. I think we're meeting when we are confronted with very profound changes for the TVET sector, but also for our country and the world. The global labor market is changing faster than any previous generation has experienced. And I think some of you may have heard of a so-called skills mismatch, precisely because automation, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, biotechnology, green hydrogen, logistics modernization, but also digital integration are shaping how work is organized and how work is valued. And so entire categories of work are emerging while others are disappearing. And in some instances, the job that you are training for now, you see it dissipate. You probably have hopes to work in a mine, and yet you hear that there's huge labor shedding in the mining sector, or rather different skill sets are required in those fields. And that's how the world is changing fast and requires us to keep pace. And so we have to respond decisively. And the first place where that response must take root is at TVET colleges, nowhere else. The engine room of skills development, of innovation, and of community resilience. And so we have to be clear that students are not a footnote in this transformation, and that you are its center you are the center of its gravity. And so the system we build must be fit for your future, aligned to your aspirations, but also responsive to your lived realities. I was passed the concept document of this summit conference, which I think was correctly stating that TVET sector stands at a defining crossroads, which means that we have to be moving away from fragmented, outdated qualifications towards industry-aligned occupational programs that produce workplace-ready graduates, entrepreneurs, and innovators. And that's the direction of travel, and it is irreversible. It was quite heartening to hear what the CEO of Services SETA was saying about the commitments for 20,000 workplace-linked placements and learnerships, I think, and various other trades, which is the direction in which we must go. And so that's very bold, and we really want to see collaboration between SETAs, our TVET colleges, industry, because the biggest problem, the biggest challenge that we face is getting industry into the fold. So just as when we do not meet our commitments as government, I would like to join you so that we go and meet with industry, because that's the potential which, if we unlock, we can be able to create millions of opportunities for young people coming out of the TVET sector. We've already acknowledged for years that historically our curriculum has been theory heavy, but also that it does not, or it has limitations in terms of linking graduates to workplaces or to transition into work. So we've been doing a lot of work, and the missing piece in that formula has been industry. We have been talking to them. We have indicated and declared our interest to engage with industry, but I think that we must join you, President, in your initiative to also engage with industry, because it is their responsibility. They are the recipient of the skills that we produce from the public sector. And so their contribution is enough. And I think, which is even better, that I suppose the services SETA and many of the other SETAs, the CEO of Insurance SETA being here with all the commitments that all the SETAs have made, that what is even better with workplace placement, integrated learning and so on, is that private sector is going to be compensated, is being compensated for hosting learners into their workplaces. So I think you're right that we have to move out of what is outdated, but the key to our movement to that future is for us to have industry opening their doors. One of the most important shifts that is underway in the sector is the recognition that policy cannot be designed in isolation. And so transformation cannot only emerge from boardrooms or just from task teams, or also from technical committees. It must be co-created with those who experience the system on a daily basis. And so you understand what its failures are, but also what its contradictions are. I was having a conversation with one of the vice chancellors of one of the universities, and I was saying to him, once students start to protest, then you must know that things have fallen apart, okay? Although they are the first ones to experience the disorder that sometimes happen in our institutions, they are sometimes the last ones to speak and to speak out. And when they speak out, we have to listen. And so it is important that you speak out as much as possible to point to us some of the challenges the system itself is challenging. And so this is why SATVETSA's mandate matter, because it is not a ceremonial structure, but a platform to advise the minister and the department on the academic challenges, curriculum alignment, student support system, and also institutional accountability. We have set for next year, and we've already had our first and inaugural meeting of the PSET sector war room, where we involve and ensure that students contribute, student leaders contribute. Because without the voices of students, we will not have a successful reopening of the 2026 academic year. Okay? So what do I mean by this? From you applying into your TVET college, getting into the institution to register, being allocated a program to study, your experiences with the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, orientation week, if we have that. About 20 years ago, you just got your student number and tried to find your way around campus. So you the ones who are experiencing this, and throughout your trimesters, throughout your semesters and so on, you as students will be the center of what we do when we reopen the academic year 2026. And so thus our PSET war room, which is meant to or intended to prepare for the reopening of the academic year 2026, central to its membership has been students, both your president and SG, who have been making quite important interventions in those meetings. One of the things that, and I know the NSFAS will be coming to speak, I saw in the program, they have to, and you have to ask them the tough questions, because if you don't, then you're the ones who are going to be at the receiving end. But with all the changes, so I'm going to try and just stick to policy issues. So with all the changes that we've seen with the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, the integration of TVET college students into the NSFAS itself, and last year, or this year rather, the standardization of allowances, with all of those policy changes and effects that have taken place and shape in terms of student funding. Part of the hard discussion which we'll have with your leadership is, what are the things that we need to do to have a sustainable student funding model for TVET colleges students, but also for university students. But importantly for TVET college students, because we have this unique program, which we will now massively be rolling out. in the form of occupational trades, which imposes new forms of funding models. Students who are not necessarily all the time on campus, something which we encourage. We'll also spend time in the factories. So what are all of these things mean for students in the TVET sector? All of these changes in terms of the programs that we're providing and how we should have, student funding. So it's happiness to hear that we have 10 seaters, you said, who are here or who have supported this program. And I'm happy that one of the key things that the seaters are talking to the TVET sector about, or TVET colleges about, is how do we support these occupational trades? How do we support more students to be participating in there? So that dimension is also important. But I think what this new occupational trades provide is for us to interrogate it and to start thinking about and making proposals, policy proposals, on how we should structure the National Student Financial Aid Scheme funding for students who are in occupational trades, and the role of the sector education and training authorities in that regard, vis-a-vis what we provide from the national government. So that's going to be one of the key things at a policy level that you have to think about. At a policy level, secondly, into 2026, but also into the future, is that we have so many students who have graduated in our TVET colleges, but who cannot find spots for experiential training, okay? And I think that should scare you because you're currently students on campuses. And so I don't know how you've organized your work, if you're going to have discussions in commissions, president, and so on. This case, because there are colleges that have been successful in this regard. And so those colleges will still have a challenge. How do we devise ways and means and exchange ideas to ensure that we succeed? Because that, as I said earlier, is where we have to have our occupational trades succeeding. So into 2026, the 2026 academic year, but also moving forward. Thirdly, when we were consulting with all the structures in July, August, we had a very long discussion with the University South Africa Forum, and that discussion was about the role that universities and universities of technology should play in helping us realize the prioritization of TVET colleges being at the heart of our skills revolution. And those conversations are not just happening with universities. It's conversations that are happening with industry. It's conversations that are happening in government, that the future of South Africa's skills is in TVETs. This is not to underestimate the role that universities are playing or the role that community colleges are playing, okay? But if we're to attack the 3.4 million young people who are not in employment or in education or in training, the university system is not the place where we should be investing our resources. If those young people have got to go into trades, if those young people have got to go into industries, so we have to prioritize TVET colleges at the heart. Just the whole week in this same venue, there was a meeting of some other political party, and its president was closing that meeting yesterday. Both when he was opening that meeting and when he was closing the meeting, there are two things that he mentioned: agent reforms in our sector education and training authorities, and also the role that TVET colleges should play in what he himself referred to as a skills revolution. So this is not just us in the ministry and us in the department. This is the responsibility that the country is now placing on us, that we have to mobilize as much resources as possible, as many partnerships as possible, almost everyone, centering our energies around making TVETs the future of our skills revolution. So that conference ended very fresh and it's landing on your laps, and I think you have to discuss how we take further that point that the president has raised. And so to understand also where we're going, I think it's important that we reflect a bit on the past. We've been having all these fights with TVET college principals, and that fight is going to intensify with DDG Zungu around NATET or Report 191 programs, because in as much as we are saying that we are providing an extension, but that extension will have to come with certain commitments. We have to see a sunset program, okay? And that sunset program is not going to be negotiated in 2029. That sunset program is going to be negotiated in 2026 when we take the last call of the NATED Report 191 program. But what we must also use this as an opportunity, those who are like me, in my CV it says, I studied digital electronics. It was up to a certain level. So those who are like me who didn't complete the full composite of their subjects, that they should also be mobilized, Bashotankari subjects, mobilized back into our colleges to complete so that they have complete certificates and hopefully diplomas, and so that they can also be entered into the artisan development pipeline. So if you know anybody, spread the word, and that's what we're going to be encouraging. There are some with 3 subjects at N6, and for one reason or another, they are still hoping to complete, so we must use this opportunity to mobilize them back into our institution. So we see that both as, yes, a little bit of a setback, but I think we must also see it as an opportunity for us to really mop up. In one of the colleges, a principal said to me that those students constitute about 6,000 or so linked to that college. Okay? But it also means that those who are currently in the system, who are doing NATED program, please pass. Okay? Please. Okay? And I know they're not here because the president was telling me very proudly, together with the SG, that, for one to be a leader, there must be academic excellence. Okay? So I know they're not here, but we are leading them. And so we must encourage them to please pass. Okay? Because one of the arguments that is being used why we shouldn't be hastily wrapping up these programs is because there are still students who are within the system. Lecture development is one of the crucial things, and I think for us to properly transition into occupational trade, and some work has been done in this regard, and it's going to be gradual, it's going to be agent, and I know that some of you, can now, given the digital technology and transformation, you get into the classroom and you Google stuff and you find answers, and so part of the bigger challenge we've had is the transition by lecturers from the chalkboard into digital technologies. So it's one of the things that we're going to be dealing with. But the department, through specific programs, are intervening in ensuring that we train lecturers. Okay? So, with this emphasis on occupational trades, DDG Zungu, lecturers have to spend time at industry, all right? So that they don't end up teaching you things which are no longer there, okay? And you only see them on Google, and then you end up seeing them in the factory or at World Skills. I've been with students at World Skills, and then they start seeing the machines for the first time. But lecturers, and we have to support that, and we have to give them time, because being in the factory, being in the workplace is part of the, of the learning curve. And so we must support and encourage lecturers in, in that work. And there's been quite a number who've been, trained in occupational qualifications theory, but also in practical implementation, and quite a lot, in fact, close to 4,000 who've been trained in digital skills and also emerging technologies. The last point I want to make is that we need to see ourselves as a system. So not just as TVET colleges, but interlinked to the workplace, interlinked to community colleges, interlinked to universities themselves and universities of technology. Because the question of articulation is one of the most important things. I know a few people, two of them being my friends, that we all started studying together at a TVET college, and both of them went on to study PhD in the area that they were studying at a technical college level. And there are many stories that some of you may probably know. I'm not saying that our intention is to encourage you to study up to PhD, but if you so wish, there shouldn't be any university that stops you from doing so, or University of Technology, by telling you that the qualification you received from the TVET college is not good enough, okay? So articulation within the system, but also to see being placed in a workplace as part of learning. We have to empower students to speak out if their intention is to do an auto or mechanical work placement, experiential learning, and they are put in a workplace where all that they do is to mop the floors, and that's not related. Yes, as an auto mechanic, you may need to at some point mop the floors, but if you don't know how to fix a car, how does mopping the floor help you with that? And so we have to speak out. And these are the things that I think students, because it completely transforms and changes student representation, okay? Because if you're a student, 30% of, 40% of the time on campus, that's what it is, Vela. That's 30% of the time on campus, and then in the workplace, and so on. Now, as SATVETSA and as the SRC, you represent the student throughout in all those phases, right? So what happens to them when they're in a workplace environment, and that workplace is not giving them the practical skills that will help them further that which they are studying on campus. So, but that integration of us seeing the whole thing as a system is important. So I really wish you all the best in your discussion in this conference, and I'm looking forward to be hearing what your outcomes and your vision of a TVET sector that is at the center of South Africa's skills revolution is, so that we take that discussion forward. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Now let me say it, do better this time. Okay. So, Minister, I'm watching the comments on YouTube. One of the former leaders of SATVETSA, former chair of Eastern Cape, Werner, is saying, hey, this leadership looks very tired. So that's why I just looked at them and said, clap even more so that you can convince Werner that you are not tired. Thank you so much, Minister. I hope leadership you were taking notes, and when we go to commissions, we'll be able to take from what the minister was saying. Now, I'm going to ask that we go for a body break. We come back at 10 past. Please make sure that we go out and back at 10 past. We are seated. We are not still walking around there. But we will first allow our dignitaries to leave, then we'll then be able to join them after. Thank you so much. DDG.
Utuwa usenge kisina machata Ivarita maya diena We molo molo Ivarituwa usenge kisina machata Ivarita maya diena
Mr. Mdirwe, please show them where coffee was.